Welcome back. On today's quick video, I'm going to do a review of a screen clipping program called Screenspresso. This is like Snagit or Greenshot or even Windows Snipping Tool a little bit, but it has a lot of functionality that I really like and I use all the time. So let's jump right in. The program comes from a website called Screenspresso.com. You can see that you can download it for free. It has paid versions also, but let me show you the functionality before we get into that too quickly or too far. What you do on this is you download it, install it. I've already done that on my computer, and then you have it set up usually to where you hit the print screen button. And when you hit print screen, you can see that it gave you this little instructions up in the top right hand side. Those have gone away, but it gives you these crosshairs that you can see moving around my screen. Now the benefit of these crosshairs is I'm selecting something that I want to capture in a screenshot, just a little clip of an image. So what I'll do is I'll come over here to this icon in the middle. I'm going to line up those crosshairs so that I can see exactly what I'm capturing, and I want to just capture as little as possible of that but still capture the entire area. Once I start dragging, it grays out the rest of the screen and only the part I'm capturing remains inside the crosshair in the unclouded area. I'll let go of my mouse button now and it'll pop up this window. I have it set up to pop up on my other screen right here where you can see the item that I captured. It also has a bunch of other items, and that comes in very handy if you're using it for multiple programs and you want to capture something but you need to come back to it later. This is one of the great advantages that I found with Screenspresso is I can save on this. I have it set up to save 30 different items. And so if I mess up on something or if I want to come back to it and use it again, I have that functionality. If I want to edit it, I just double click it, or there's an edit button of course, but it pops it up and then it gives me a whole bunch of options that I can use to edit. I can draw arrows on it, identifying different things. You can see within those arrows I have a bunch of different types of arrows. I've got this tapered arrow, I've got your standard arrow, I've got double-sided. Those are pretty cool. If I want to edit something or if I want to draw a square around it, I might say, well, hey, I want to do something with this. Then I can select this arrow and redirect it over to here. I can draw text on this, and the one I use has a background. So you can see on this particular one I have it set up to have a background on it. I can have these little bubbles, text bubbles, which are pretty cool, especially if you're making comments on different parts of your video. I can add information or numbering. I can highlight things. So if there's a section over here that I want to highlight, I may come in and say, okay, well, that's a highlighted area. That's a feature that I haven't found a lot of other places. I can draw ellipses. I can draw polygons, and this comes in really handy. And this tells me I can draw, it gives you instructions on how to draw it. But if I want to outline something that maybe doesn't have a specific form or I want to draw a path, I can do that. This particular one you can see has different headings. I'm going to go more into that here in a second. I can draw squiggly lines. Let's draw that again, select that. So you can see you can draw, that's basically just handwritten. I can draw all over the screen. I can blur regions, which is really cool. If I want to not see something necessarily that's on the screen, I can blur that out. I can add an image. I can draw a magnifying glass and add brackets. Now the reason I left all this on screen is this is what makes this different from some other programs. Some have this functionality, but say I don't like that, I can just go back in and delete it. If I get rid of this was a downside that I had with Greenshot. If I close this out without saving it a certain format, I'm not able to go back in and recapture it. But on this one, I can close it out, and if I did make this changes, well, I can come back into this screen here, double click that image again, and I still have the functionality to get rid of all of these different items. So that to me is well worth using this program in a lot of instances. So those are just some different pieces that you can do on Screenspresso, and I'm leaving this in a smaller format. You can resize this window, of course, as needed, but here's where it really gets cool. If I come in here and I draw an arrow, say, you see I've got a black box and a red box. Well, the red box pops up these drawing options. So I can come in here and I can change that to a simple arrow. I can change the color while it's already on the screen. Maybe I want to have that be more of an orangish color. Maybe I want the pen width, the drawing size to be wider or smaller. I want to make this more or less opaque. I can have it be a little bit more transparent. I can change the type to be dashed or a dashed and dotted mix. It's got a shadow which I use more on text than anything else. And then I can also set this as a default, which will mean it'll change it to a custom arrow over here. So for example, you see I've got this white one does not come stock with it. I've got white on here so that if I'm drawing on a PDF or an image, I can actually get rid of some of these sections that I may not want to have involved. And I have that set down to no shadow. So now I've been able to alter the image from the way that it was previously. On the text, if I want to come in here and add some text, what I can then do is I can change the size of the text. I can change the font. I can change the positioning. I can say, well, maybe I want this to be more of a purplish text. You see that it goes there. I can change the glow width, and the glow is this area outside the text. So I can make that bigger or smaller, and you can see that really helps it stand out. And then it's got a feature called glow blur. And right now you can see this has a pretty defined line. So if I take that down to 0, all of it has a very defined outside line. But if I don't like that and I want to change that to be more of a blur in with the surrounding region, you can see the glow blur actually feathers the area, the lines on the edges. So that's a cool feature that I'm able to do. I can change the size of the font if I want to, make that larger or smaller, which means of course I've got to resize this, but it gives you a lot of functionality that you may not have in other applications. So far this has been great. I can undo all the changes, of course. I can crop, I can cut out different things, resize the image, resize the canvas size. This is a very functional little program. It also has some other functions. I don't know that I'll be able to drag them over on the screen right now, but I'm able to, here we go. It'll put a little bar on the top of your window, and if you push up into that bar, you can also do different types of screenshots. Right now I have it set to screenshot a region, but I can do a previous region. I can do a delayed screenshot. That could be helpful if you're trying to capture something, but it takes you moving your mouse from one place to another on the screen. Screenshot using auto scroll if I want to do more than just what you can see on the screen right now. If I have a screen that I need to scroll down on, that's pretty cool. Lots of different things that you can do. Copy text with an OCR, an optical character recognition. I can also record a video. I can do a video capture of the screen that I'm on if I'm trying to do a tutorial. That can be very helpful. All of these different things are extremely helpful within this program. So Screenshot has a few different pricing options. If you use the free version, you'll be able to do a couple of different screenshots for free. You won't be able to have the history where you'll be able to go back as far, at least not for very long. So if you want to purchase it, here it shows you the different options. You can get the free version, which does the HD capture, the HD video capture with branding. So that'll have an icon on it. Limited image editor. You can do some sharing features, but any sharing you'll do, it'll have the Screenspresso branding on it. And it's okay to use at work, but again, you're going to have limited functionality. For $30, and this is a one-time purchase as long as you use that version. And once they update it to a new version, you lose that, but that's okay if you don't need the updates. And so for $30, you get the basic versions for free, but you also get rid of the branding on the HD video capture. You can do the text capture from images and use the OCR. This is a feature I have not used, to be honest with you, but I've used most of the others. And you get all of these different pieces here. So it's a pretty cool program. If you're a bigger enterprise, you can pay as much as you want to for that, which is a lot more money. But if you're using multiple users, this gives you unlimited users for $2,190 across a wide organization. That actually could be pretty helpful if you have more than 100 users. You'd be saving money to go with that option. So for me, the Pro version has been extremely helpful. I use it almost on a daily basis, and I did go ahead and fork out the $29.99 for the one-time purchase. I hope this type of content is helpful to you. If this video has been helpful, please give us a like down below. If you'd like to see more of these type of videos or more of this type of content, consider subscribing to the channel. And if you know someone this may be helpful to, please consider sharing. Thanks for being here. We'll see you on the next one.